Your spidey sense is tingling. We've all felt it, right? Intuition, the innate power of the mind that has baffled scientists and philosophers alike for millennia. Today, some of the world's most successful visionaries credit the quiet superpower with their world-changing ideas. What really is this mysterious force? How has it shaped our history? Can it be harnessed? And if so, should it be? Details on a declassified CIA experiment that tried to shape it into a weapon during the Cold War. Plus, a look at intuition's real place through the ages as a tool to help understand the universe and just maybe predict the future. Join me as we unravel all this and much more and enter the Codex Legendarium. I'm Shelby Melanson. For a very long time, we've been trying to uncover the secrets of intuition. Visionaries like Albert Einstein and Apple co-founder Steve Jobs give major credit to this widely known yet little understood sense, saying they owed their successes to it. In Jobs' biography, he said, "Intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect." In a 2005 speech at Stanford, he echoed the same message.
So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
As for Einstein, in the face of huge pushback over his theory of relativity in the 1920s, he once said, quote, "All great achievements of science must start from intuitive knowledge. At times, I feel certain I am right, while not knowing the reason." Not long ago, I put out a video diving deep into the science of gut feelings. Today, let's dive into history's attempts to explain what they are and even harness that power. The first ever written record of the mystery of intuition goes all the way back to Aristotle in 350 BC, just shy of 2,400 years ago. And his first mention of it was also an attempt to define it. In his book, Nicomachean Ethics, he wrote that wisdom is intuitive reason combined with scientific knowledge. In other words, he believed true wisdom and scientific study both rely on intuition. And that viewpoint has largely carried over to philosophers today, who often hint that it offers a superior way of thinking and perceiving the world, compared to the analytical talents baked into the human brain. Webster's dictionary hints at the same thing, defining intuition as the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. Over in the world of psychology, though, things start to get a little convoluted. Despite the way intuition seems to capture our curiosity like almost nothing else can, psychologists throughout history have basically brushed it off. For the most part, they say attempts to define it are too vague for scientific study, and criticize it for being connected to other theories about the brain that go a little bit beyond what modern science believes right now. Is intuition truly impossible to study? Or have the successful ones just been hidden away for safekeeping? Stay with me. Back in 1961, psychologist Malcom Westcott launched one of the only clinical studies ever done on intuition. His goal, to pinpoint how intuition actually works, and observe it as a way to make accurate judgments based on limited information. He continued that research for years and published a book called Toward a Contemporary Psychology of Intuition 7 years later. Despite his years of work, Westcott pointed to Swiss psychologist Carl Jung instead, saying that his was the only grand theory of intuition to enter the world of psychology truly. Just like Aristotle, Jung believed that, quote, "Intuition does not denote something contrary to reason, but something outside of the province of reason." And that, quote, "Intuition is perception via the unconscious that brings forth ideas, images, new possibilities, and ways out of blocked situations." For Jung, intuition wasn't just some far-fetched paranormal phenomena. It was a core function of the human psyche, and in his 1921 book, he made it the first trait of 4 that described the mind. Later on, that belief went on to inspire others, like the creators of the Meyers-Briggs personality type indicator. The test places intuition, labeled as N, in one of 4 and/or categories, and those categories are considered core traits to define a person. Jung's theories were much more developed, and plenty of modern psychologists have taken issue with the World War II era indicator for reasons ranging from reliability to self-perception bias. But just a few decades later, a very different group of scientists took up the mantle of studying intuition. They, just like Westcott, wondered if intuition could actually be harnessed and strengthened in the mind, and used to gain information that was blocked, or otherwise impossible to obtain. And this time, its power was not only noticed, but harnessed as a wartime superweapon. Back in 2003, a CIA document all about a Cold War-era experiment got declassified, and its implications are mind-blowing. It was called the Gateway Experience of 1983, and basically, the experiment wanted to find a way to make both sides of the brain sync up, specifically, the waves from both hemispheres of the brain to sync up in both amplitude and frequency. They called this Hemi-sync, and doing it would allow a person to enter an altered state of consciousness, one that was not only enhanced, but with extremely strengthened access to what we might call intuition. The report says this heightened level of consciousness is rare and only lasts a short time in the brain, normally. But there are exceptions. Most notably, according to the paper, quote, "A subject with 20 years of training in Zen meditation could consistently establish Hemi-sync at will, sustaining it for over 15 minutes. But instead of spending a few decades teaching someone advanced meditation techniques, the CIA teamed up with the Monroe Institute and tried a different kind of tactic. They brought in elements from all kinds of research. Observations from psychologist Ronald Stone, biomedical engineering data from scientist Ishkov Bentov, and records about what happens in the brains of advanced spiritual meditators. Here's what they came up with. Ever listen to binaural beats? It's a kind of music that plays at a slightly different frequency in each ear, but within just 30 hertz of each other. It's mainly music created for relaxation, but the CIA believed it could be used to synchronize the two sides of the brain, and from there, strengthen the entire brain to higher and higher vibrational frequencies. And from there, let me just read you the direct quote. Fundamentally, the Gateway Experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. The participant then gains access to various levels of intuitive knowledge which the universe offers. So there you have it, a technique to, in theory, allow a person to gain access to information that may exist at other levels of time and space in the universe, but that the physical body can't access under normal conditions, consciously anyway. Sounds an awful lot like an extreme-induced version of everyday intuition, doesn't it? If intuition is ultimately something baked into the human brain, then it should have been around for as long as humans have too, right? That got me thinking. What if intuition and the people most skilled at tapping into it were in the distant past called something else? Prophets, sibyls, soothsayers, oracles, people who could tap into their intuition, harness what they believed was a divine connection with the universe and with God. They knew what was coming and told the future. There were shockingly many of these throughout ancient times and across the globe. Even the word divination today comes from the Latin word divinare, or to be inspired by God. Perhaps the most famous is the Greek Oracle of Delphi. She took the form of a high priestess given the title of Pythia, and was said to deliver messages from the god Apollo. The Pythia was the highest and most revered of all temple priestesses, and she spent her days in an underground chamber where she would answer questions from priests while in an altered state of consciousness. Sound familiar? Some researchers say she was actually breathing in ethylene gas that was rising up through the rocks in her chamber and hallucinating because of it. Others think of this in the more spiritual sense of communing with God. Other similar records talk about oracles from Italy, Egypt, and Persia, They were such an honored and common part of culture at the time that Michelangelo immortalized them in his mural on the Sistine Chapel's ceiling. Besides Delphi, Shakespeare got in on this too, and in his play Julius Caesar, he wrote that Caesar, the person, was warned by a soothsayer about the Ides of March, that's a term for the middle of March, would prove a dangerous time for him. And my history buffs out there will know that the 15th of March in the year 44 BC indeed turned out to be a very dangerous time for Caesar, of murderous proportions. Historians say the play took a little artistic liberty with the timeline, Act 1, Scene 2, if you're curious, but Greek philosopher and historian Plutarch wrote that the soothsayer story was true, just that it came a, quote, long time afore Caesar's actual assassination. The emperors of ancient China sought wisdom from the predictions of oracle bones and other rituals before making big decisions that could determine the outcomes of everything from wars to the health of the nation's agriculture. Other rulers had the same idea. Catherine de Medici, Queen of France, invited a famous astrologer to her royal court, one by the name of Michel de Nostradam. You might know him as Nostradamus. Not to mention others like the Hebrew prophet Moses, or Islam's teachings of the prophet Muhammad. Even these famous stories make up just a small handful of everything that I read about while researching for this episode. There are many, many more of them, especially from Africa, Hawaii, and Celtic traditions. For a lot of people, the idea of intuition being a connection with God and a tool to help guide us through our lives persists through today. While reading all kinds of discussions on this, I noticed one major theme in all faith-based discussions about intuition. Like any tool, it can be used for both good and bad. If you ask me, that nicely fits in with the science of all of this. Like the contrast between embracing intuition as an extra sense of clarity when deciding what path of life might be right for you, versus trying to engineer an unstoppable weapon of espionage. What if intuition is just something baked into us by default, and yet another example of the incredible design of the human brain? What if it's a kind of natural superpower to help us connect more deeply with the world we live in? I'll leave that one for you to decide, but if you ask me, Einstein said it best. The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. But what do you think? What kinds of experiences have you had with intuition? Is it the real secret behind some of history's greatest innovators? Can some people really access intuition more strongly than others? Is it just another special feature of the human brain that we don't fully understand yet? Or is there more to it? I would love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments. And if you have an idea for something that you'd like to see a future episode on, seriously, let me know. And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive into mysteries, myths, culture, and science, please take a second to like and share this video, and if you want to see more, subscribe. It really, really helps get the word out there. Until next time, stay curious. Thank you.